Hi everyone, welcome to today's live session. I know it's been a long time. It's been like a month, I think. But I'm happy to be back from now to the middle of January. I'm thinking we'll be doing mock interviews. I think I have some free time now, so I should be able to do the mock interviews. Let me know where you're watching this from, and if you have any question, please leave it in the chat. So today I'm supposed to have 3 students, but then I have just 2 students, so which is fine. I have Richmond, and then I have Nectar. So I'm just going to start with Richmond. Richmond, can you hear me? Hello,
Yes, I
Richmond.
I can. Yeah, hello.
Okay. All right. So let's find out about your preparations. So how many schools did you apply to?
I applied to 3 schools.
Okay, tell me about them. Which schools?
Oh, okay, I applied to 3 schools and got accepted to all three. Applied to Missouri State University, North Carolina A&T State University, and East Tennessee State University. Yeah,
So which one are you going to?
North Carolina A&T State University.
Why North Carolina A&T?
North Carolina A&T is located in a major agribusiness region. It also offers a more research-based and practical approach to agribusiness and sustainable agriculture, which will studying there will expose me to real industry practices and research that will equip me with the skills in analyzing market trends and evaluating trade policies to help shape policies for smallholder agribusinesses in Ghana.
Um, since you are saying they don't sound like you know what like you, I know you've mentioned a lot of things, but from the way I heard them, they don't really
Yeah.
sound like um they don't really sound convincing to me.
Okay.
Because
Can I
mentioning a
take
lot
it
of
again?
things. Just hold on. Yeah, if you want, you can take it again. Let's see. Let me kind of hear it again and see. Maybe I'll change my mind. Let me hear it again.
Okay. So I chose North Carolina A&T because it offers a more research-driven and practical approach to sustainable agriculture and agribusiness. It is also located in a major agribusiness, which means I'll be exposed to real industry practices and research that will equip me with the skills in agribusiness development in Ghana when I return.
Okay, it's probably not bad. So when you return, what do you mean? What are you returning to do? What are you using all those things, those uh knowledge and the skills, everything you're coming to learn? What are you using them to do in Ghana when you return? You
Okay,
didn't say about that.
yeah, the program will equip me with skills in analyzing market trends and evaluating and designing policies that will help smallholder agribusinesses in Ghana. Smallholder agribusinesses form the backbone of Ghana's agriculture sector, yet they are often left out of these benefits. So my goal is to help strengthen smallholders in Ghana. Yeah.
You said these benefits. Did you mention any benefits?
Say again, please.
You said you are excluded from certain benefits. Which benefit? Because I don't think I heard it. I heard you
They
mentioning
are
that the benefits
they
that
are they are excluded from trade benefits, trade and investment benefits. Yes, that limits their
what do
growth.
you mean by trade and investment benefits? What do you mean by that? I don't understand you.
Okay, so smallholders, right, face these constraints that um, trade policies, right, and investments, poor investment, I mean low investment programs. So they are unable to grow. And my focus is to help shape policies that drive investment and help them scale up and compete globally.
Mm, okay. I think I get the point. Okay. So it's like they are not really paid attention to. So you wanna design policies that will bring their needs to the fore, such that attention
Yes,
can be
please.
paid to them
Yes,
and
please.
can get some investment and stuff.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
What are you coming to study?
I'm coming to study a master's degree in agroecology and sustainable agriculture with a concentration in agribusiness and food industry management. The program
Hmm.
will equip me with the skills in data analysis, that's market analyzing market trends and policy evaluation. That will help me the same smallholder. Yeah, so if I was to continue,
Um,
I'll still mention the smallholders. So
what
do I continue?
when did you finish your bachelor's degree?
I completed University of Ghana 2023, please.
What did you study?
I studied I studied plants biology and biochemistry at the University of Ghana.
And what is your current job?
I am a graduate trainee at Nestle Ghana Limited in supply chain management and quality control.
So you work as a supply chain person and you want to design policies for the agriculture sector. Are they not too
Yeah,
different? Why are you not doing something related to what you want to pursue in the US?
so, with the supply chain management, it's directly related to my course of study. That's the agribusiness course of study with the economics aspects. Yeah, we take courses such as supply chain and value chain additions. Yeah, so
Wait, you take courses, so what do you mean? Where?
I'm saying that with the skills or the courses I'll take, right? They are supply chain courses embedded in the agribusiness sector that I'm looking at.
Hmm, I see. Um, I mean, so far so good. I think just that you want to be a bit clear with some of the things. The connection between supply chain and agribusiness, you probably want to make that very clear because it's
Okay.
not that clear to me. Some
Okay.
visa officers they might overlook it. Other visa officers might think the two are unrelated, right? So you wanna
Okay.
make sure they are well connected. That is very important.
Yes, please.
Okay, so who is sponsoring your studies?
I've secured a $24,000 graduate research assistantship at the Leonard Cooper Center for International Trade that covers my fees and tuition. The remaining deficit of $19,358 will be covered by my uncle, Mr. AAA, who is the secretary to the board of AAA Hotels Ghana and earns about 320,000 cedis annually.
Mhm. How did you get the funding?
I say again, please.
How did you get the graduate assistantship?
I reached out, so I sent while preparing my application. I also included an essay to the department requesting for the opportunity to work with a graduate, uh, an opportunity to work as a graduate assistant or a teaching assistant. I was then connected to with an extension with the department. That's the Leonard Cooper Center for International Trade. And I had an interview with the panel, and my goals, which is uh, which focuses on the impact of international trade policies on smallholder agribusinesses in Sahel in the Sahel region.
Are you there?
Hello, hello,
Yeah. Mm,
hello.
yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry, a call came through, so I should I
All right.
start, please?
So, um, no.
Okay.
What you said, is that what
Yes.
really happened? Is that how you got a funding?
Yes.
Was it based on the essay you submitted to the school?
Yes, please.
Did you okay. Yeah, then instead of you struggling to start the sentence trying to say while working on my application, I think you repeated that like three times. You can just say the assistantship was based on the essay that you submitted,
Okay.
where you indicated your interest in being offered an assistantship. And so you were, invited for an interview. You went through the interview, and then they realized that your career goals align with what the center is doing or something. And so that is how you got a financial.
Okay.
You can also probably mention the other things that made it possible for you to get a fund is, things like your GPA,
Okay.
if it's you
Yeah.
can all those things, recommendation letters, right? All those things they are part of a school's decision to offer an assistantship to a student. You wanna
Yeah.
mention all those things. Um, so your uncle, I know I don't have a lot of information about what you said. So has he traveled before?
Yes, please.
If I ask you, has he traveled before? I want you to tell me where he has been to, not yes, like yes, please. No,
Okay.
just tell me yes, he's traveled to XYZ. That's how, because the visa officer doesn't have time for you to say yes, and then they will ask you where, and then you
Wait.
say,
Okay.
just give the visa officer all the information that is important, in
Okay.
a
Uh,
particular question that.
so my uncle has traveled to the US and the UK and other countries in the Europe.
Okay. Hmm. What about you? Have you traveled before?
Yes, please. I've been to Qatar and Nigeria for vacation. I've been to Qatar twice and Nigeria twice, both of them for vacation.
Hmm. I see. Do you have any relative in the US?
No, please.
All right. So what are your plans after your studies?
After my studies, I intend to come back to Ghana to work as an agribusiness policy advisor, particularly with the Ministry of Agriculture or Ministry of Trade, to help design policies that support smallholder agribusinesses in Ghana to scale up and access global markets.
I think it's not bad. I mean, if you have a chance, you probably have, um, your deficit of 19,000 these days. I don't know if 19,000 will be convincing to them, given that it's from an uncle. It's not from your father. So
Yes.
that is the thing. I don't know.
Okay.
I recently somebody went with how much was it? 15,000. So and she was approved. So I guess 19,000 is not far from 15,000. So it's about being able to. But for her, was it her dad? I don't remember. So right now, yeah, when it comes to the financial stuff, yeah, I know you have a GA, which kind of helps a lot. $24,000, that's good. But these days you never know. So yeah, if you can, the good thing is your sponsor has traveled before. You have also traveled before, so all of those things can help you in a way.
Yes.
My concern is your job. A lot of times they want to make sure your academic motivations are very clear. So it's like
Yes.
you are doing something which aligns with what you want to study. And in your case, I'm not too sure about the connection. So that's probably the only thing. I don't
Yes.
know what you put in your DX form. If that can kind of whatever you put, I don't know if that will conflict with your interest in agribusiness, because supply chain agribusiness, I don't know, maybe if you can tell the story very well, then fine. But
Yes, please.
it's not bad. I think you have a very good chance. You can express yourself, and you know about agribusiness. You know why you want to study it. You know why you know why you want to study it and all that. So
Yes.
I guess good luck to you. Okay, I hope everything goes well.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, no problem. So good luck.
All
All
right.
right. Frimpon, are you there?
So, Shy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, sorry, before Frimpong comes on, I just wanted to ask a few questions. Okay. So,
Mm.
um, I previously applied, right? That's my second time. That was in July. And I was put on AP. So what happened was it delayed. It was delaying, and I reached out to the school, and I had to defer, right? So I reached out to the embassy some time back, and they requested me to come back for a second interview. Okay, so when I got there, that was when I got denied. Okay, so right now, when my funding, right, when I spoke to my research coordinator, he gave me the same funding, which means nothing has really changed with regards to the funding and the research I'm going to do, right? Because I applied for funding
Um, are you there, Richmond? Hello. All right, Frimpon. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. I can hear you.
So where are you going?
I'm going to the United States
That's not
to
out to the
pursue.
United
To
States.
Yeah, can you
So
hear me?
so you wanna sound like you are in an interview. Don't I'm going to the United States to pursue. No, that's not answer like you are in an interview. An interview that is important to you. So
Yeah.
answer well, like, yeah, I don't know why students will say I'm going to the United States. Everybody knows you are going to the United States. Once you are at the embassy, everybody knows you are going to the United States, but not everybody knows the school you are going to. So when you are asked where are you going, the visa officer is expecting you to tell him or her the school you are going to, the city the school is located, um, what you are going to pursue, and you can, even if it's a 2-year program, if it's a fully funded program, you can say it like that. And then ideally, if you have an area of interest, you add it to that. That is what the visa officer is looking for. So when you say you're going to the US, yeah, everybody knows that, right? So anyway, so you want to take it again, and you want to sound like this means something to you. Okay. So where are you
Okay.
going?
I'm going to Texas State University in in the United States to pursue a 4-year degree course in accounting.
Okay. Texas States. What is the city of the school?
Um, Texas State University is located in San Marcos,
Okay, that is
Texas State.
the information that I needed, because that kind of shows you know where the school is located and you know where you are going. As for the US, everybody knows you are going there, right? So that's not really
Okay.
kind of information like that for anyone. Yeah. Okay, so who is sponsoring your studies?
My auntie, who works as the Director General of National
Don't
Service.
mention the name of the place. You just say AA or something, right? Because you don't want to
Okay.
disclose such information. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Go on. Your auntie. Just what is the title? What?
She's the Director General for National Service. Oh,
Okay, whatever. Okay, Director General. Okay, so how much is your cost of attendance?
um, for a year, my cost of attendance is $20,000.
Okay, 20,000. 20,000. Did you get any scholarship?
No, please.
Okay, so 20,000 will be covered fully by your auntie.
Yes. Of course.
When 4 years, so you are going to do a bachelor's degree. When did you finish your high school?
Please come again.
When did you finish high school?
I completed high school last year.
Okay, so what have you been doing since last year?
I've been preparing for school, learning other stuffs online, and also building my music. Sorry, building my skills. Yeah, I'm into music. Yeah, so building my skills in the music.
You say you've been learning. What have you been learning?
Yeah, I've been reading history, learning more about um, human nature, and also about hierarchy, royalties, and
So you're coming to study accounting. Why are you not learning accounting stuff and you're learning history and stuff like that? Why?
yeah,
Are
I
you really
learn.
accounting?
Okay, please, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, like I'm wondering, like somebody who wants to do accounting in the US, why are you not studying accounting materials? Why are you focusing on things that are unrelated to accounting?
Yes, please, can I answer?
Of
Okay, so
course, I'm
I
asking a
was waiting for you to finish. I was waiting for you to finish. Okay, so um, the main course I'm doing is accounting, and then most of the time, let's say 80% of the time, is being spent on everything accounting. So what you asked, when I completed school, what was I actually doing? So that free time I had was for the other things. But when like it got to time to learn, like when the main time to learn is for accounting. But when I'm free and not
What have
doing
you been
anything,
learning in accounting since you finished high
yeah,
school?
yeah, I've been learning about trial balance. Um,
What is trial balance?
Trial balance is um, the let's see, let me use the word balance. Is the balance left from a calculation?
You see,
Like let's say you make
if,
a calculation.
if you make a statement, if you say you've been doing X and you are asked what is X and you can't explain,
Mhm.
that is enough grounds for the visa officer to deny your visa because it's like you are not telling the truth. You don't know what you are saying, right? And that is not even the point. The main point is you saying that um you saying 80% of the time you are doing accounting. It was because I asked you follow-up questions. That's why you were saying those things. But the point is when I asked you what have you been doing, you said you've been learning history and stuff like that. And the history is one thing. You were mentioning your music career or something. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm wondering like, if I'm a visa officer, I ask you what have you been doing since high school, and you're telling me that you've been studying music or you've been pursuing your music career. I am thinking, why are you not pursuing music in the US? Why are you not interested in music and you're interested in accounting and stuff like that, right? So those are things you want to check very well. You want to make it very clear that in your life right now, all you want is accounting. That is that is how what you want to tell the visa officer, that all you've been doing is accounting, all you are interested in is accounting. You want to be an accountant and whatever. So why do you want to study accounting?
Okay, so accounting is is a course which has like a great impact in my life actually, because I like working with numbers. There's this satisfaction when I'm dealing with numbers, making sense out of numbers, analyzing data, finding pattern behind numbers, and then making strong decisions based on whatever I have analyzed. Yeah. So I feel like accounting deeply challenges the thinking.
You see, you're coming to study accounting. You've spent a lot of money on this visa process. So the expectation is that by now you should know why you want to study accounting. You should know what the accounting program will do for you. If you are struggling like this, it's like, do you really want to come to the US, right? That's my question. Um, the question I asked you was why accounting? Why do you want to study accounting? I wasn't asking you, or I wasn't interested in how you developed the interest in accounting. Yes, if I ask you why accounting, you can briefly talk about your interest and stuff, but you haven't answered my question. Why? If you have a degree in accounting, what will that do for you? What are you interested in solving in your home country, and how does accounting fit in? That is my question, and you haven't answered that, right? Why uh Texas State, right? Why Texas State? Why that school?
Okay. Okay. Texas State has a strong accounting background with the McCall College of Business, and then it also gives me the chance to engage in um, internship and then research with modern facilities, and also I get to work with other people from different backgrounds. Yes.
Everybody can say the accounting program is strong and stuff like that. So that is general. Everybody says the same, can say the same thing. Now you mentioned McCall College of Business. I don't know if it's how that's how you pronounce it. I don't know, but you mentioned something like
McCall.
McCall College of Business. Now, what is it about the School of Business that interested you about the school? What is special about the school? What is special about a college? How is that important to you? You just mentioned it and then you just went to the next thing. So what is specific about that college? What is that about, right? How is that important to you, to your career? Right. And then you mentioned they have modern facilities, but
Yes.
you didn't tell me what those modern facilities are and how they are going to shape your career, how they are going to help you become a better accountant. If you just say because they have X, how is X important to you? But even in
Okay.
your case, it's not like you are even saying X like specifically. You are saying X in general. What is the specific aspect of X which made you decide to go to the school? The visa officer is looking at, okay, this guy, what is special about the school? Why are you really interested in the school? Because in the US, there are thousands of schools that you could have gone to, you could have applied to, but you chose this particular one. So why? What is special about it? But you haven't really convinced me. Um, your auntie who is sponsoring you, has she traveled before?
Yes. She she traveled to the US, the UK, and then Germany. Yes.
Okay. Um, what about you?
Yeah, this is my first time.
So why is she sponsoring you?
Yeah. She has she sponsored my cousins, and then actually she gave me a chance to perform. Like she gave me a chance to also work with her to prove myself if I'm actually good. So I managed to convince her through my works when I was around her. Yes, please.
What are those works?
Yeah, I worked as an assistant at the accounting office. Um, we make invoices.
Which
We
accounting office? Accounting office where? You are not being specific
you
at all. You are just giving
you asked me
general.
not to mention. I was
Yeah,
like national.
but then in the first answer, in the first question, I told you you can say A B C A or something. So what
Okay,
prevented you from saying A? The point is not mentioning the name of the place, but I want you to say A company so that it's like okay at the interview, the expectation is that you will mention the exact name of the company. So yes, still want you to say A company, that kind of thing.
okay,
But
okay.
okay, no, I'm not even letting you finish this, but because there are already issues with that answer. When I asked you what have you been doing since high school, what you said was you've been learning and learning and learning all sort of things. You
Yes.
did not say you've been working for your auntie as an intern or something as an accountant, or you didn't say that. And the other aspect of this is
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a mistake. Sorry.
the other
High
aspect of
school was
the other
okay.
aspect of
I've gone.
this.
I'm a transfer student.
Okay, hold
So
on. The
actually,
other aspect of this the other aspect of this is that your auntie, if your auntie is sponsoring your studies in the US, so you are trying to imply that within that short period you work for her, she decided to sponsor your studies within that short period. She's already seen enough such that she's convinced that she has to sponsor your studies in the US. That doesn't sound like a true story to me. Now you were saying something. Now you can go on and say what you wanted to say. What were you saying? Are you there? Hello, are you there? Oh, yes, the network is not helping today. All right, let me go into the chat. So AI consults. Hi. The Mex Hub. Emmanuel. Good to see you guys. It's been a long time. Joseph says very long absence. Okio from Kenya. Okay. Okio, is Okio the same person in the top fans, right? I think Okio is part of the top my top fans on Discord. Okay. Then who else? Where am I again? Oh, where am I? Okay. Okay, so Craig Joseph from Ghana. Domingos. Okay, Domingos. He said, are you able to be interviewed today? Are you able to join the interview? I don't know if you were selected and you didn't join, because I think I am aware of 3 people. So I don't know if you were selected and you didn't join. We don't do joining while the live session is going on. My brain, I don't like, do this, do this, do this. Let's try and then my brain doesn't like that. I just, don't want to kind of stress myself like that. So you are given the opportunity. It's really simple. If you are interested, you submit what is asked of you, and then you are selected. If you are selected, fine, because there is no guarantee that you'll be selected. But if you are selected, then you get opportunity to be interviewed, right? It's really simple. You don't wait until the live session is going on before you request to join in. That doesn't really help anybody, right? So the mixes, okay, from Nigeria. Okay, C plus. So Ghanaian living in Russia. Okay, how is Russia? I hope everything is fine there. Promise says, can you explain how deficit works? How deficit works? So deficit is just what you are expected to spend out of pocket. So right, like if the school on the I-20, you're going to see on the left side of the I-20 the financials. You're going to see the cost of studying in the school. So normally it is 9 months, because they expect you to study for 2 months and then for 2 semesters, and then you are kind of you might most of the time is for the undergraduate students, they leave campus for 3 months, so they go to their home countries or something for 3 months, and so that's why it is estimated to be 9 months, right? So the cost of being in the school, and the cost here includes your tuition, your living expenses, right? So health insurance and your health, your tuition, your living expenses, your health insurance, right? Everything that you're expected to spend as a student in the school. Now, some schools might give you a scholarship, right? So or some schools might capture on-campus employment, right? So whatever those amounts are, when you subtract them from your cost on the left side, that is going to give you your deficit, which is how much you should have, to cover the remaining costs, right, of pursuing your program in the program. That's basically how that works, right? So yeah, where am I? So I hope that is clear, right? I already have a video on the I-20, kind of explain the I-20. The thing is that a lot of times I get questions from students, and all the questions that they have all the time, they are questions that I've already answered in different videos. Students don't spend time checking There are playlists. Students don't spend time checking all these playlists for all the information they need. They just, a lot of them, they make mistakes, and then after they make mistakes, they want to reach out for you to correct those mistakes for them. Meanwhile, if they had been more proactive and paid attention to videos, they would have avoided all those mistakes. Some of them, even if you make a mistake, the answer, what to do is already there, but they will not check. They just want to quickly get to you because they think, a lot of people, they don't understand the opportunity because of our time. They think, you don't do anything, you're just sitting down. So when they reach out, they expect you to reply, and they don't even know 100 people have reached out to you around the same time, right? So that's the thing. um Let me see, where am I? Huh. Where am I? Okay. Okay, C plus says I have admissions waiting for GA, but my fear is getting interview dates. All admissions are for fall 2026. Any advice on what to do, please? Yeah, right now I always say that there are a lot of things you cannot really control. You just have to do what you have to do, and you do your best. If you do your best and you don't succeed, at least you know you did your best, and there's nothing to worry about or nothing to regret because you know you did your best. If it works out, fine. If it doesn't work out, yeah, there wasn't anything you could have done, right? So your best right now is make sure you have, if you are still applying, you can make sure you submit good applications. If you have already submitted, then yeah, you just wait on them. um when something hasn't really happened, you don't want to be in fear of it because even people trying to come in spring are hopeful that they will get a date. You who is coming in for, you are worried about a date, right? You never know, right? It's possible, yeah, it could be difficult, but we just don't know. So for me, I will not be worried about it, right? My focus is how to get the funding, and once you get funding, yes, everything else will take care of itself, right? What happened last year was different, so I'm just not expecting the same thing to happen this year, right? So hopefully, if we don't have that pause that we had, right, in what, June, May, June, right? Was it May, June? Yeah, if we don't have the same thing again, I think everyone should have dates to come. So let's hope for the best. Where am I? Set from Kenya. Okay, hi Set. Um, Augusta. Augusta is watching from Ghana. Augusta. Augusta, nice to see you. um, Abidin Muhiz. Hi. Flasia from Flasia. I think it's Flasia from Kenya. Yeah, I know Flasia. Isa, I'm good. How about you? How is everything? Um, yeah, it's been a while. Belinda is saying, in saying your sponsors amount, should you state the amount in dollars or in Ghana cedis? I will always go with dollars because the dollars on the I-20, the amount is quoted in dollars. So why not say it in dollars? I know there was a Nigerian I interviewed, a long time ago. He was like, in Nigeria, it is better to mention the amount in naira because that, in a way, inflates the amount, right? It makes the visa officer think of the amount as very huge. But I don't really see it like that because the visa officer will, if the visa officer will be convinced, the visa officer would have converted it or something. But why would you even want them to convert? The thing is, people think they are smarter than the visa officer, but these visa officers, they are smarter than you. Like, they've been trained specifically for issuing visas. So what makes you think by mentioning the amounts in naira, you are kind of hiding something from them? It doesn't work like that, right? People don't understand like that. So yeah, just mention the amount in dollars because it kind of shows that you know that your deficit is in dollars and you are aware of how much that is, because it's like you've accounted for all the exchange rate stuff, and so you know that you can pay, right? That is just how it is. So please don't make it look like you're smarter than the visa officers. A lot of people, they are misbehaving, right? They are doing bad things, but then they are in their minds. They think they are so smart that the other person cannot see. They think they are using you, but they don't know. You know, I don't know why people see things like this, because everybody has the same. Everybody, is smart enough. There are people who just overlook certain things. They are like, okay, so it's okay. Let me just not react. But the fact that somebody is not reacting to something doesn't mean the person is not aware of what you are doing, right? So people don't get it like that. They think, well, that's not. Don't think you are smarter than some people. That's not, it's not like that. So, anyways, where am I? Uh, I thought I saw. I thought I saw Kehinde, but it looks like I'm not there yet. Maybe it just okay. Kehinde Steven from Nigeria is here. So Kehinde Steven is one of the my top fans. So there are actually two Kehindes, a lady and a gentleman. The lady I know her very well. Kehinde is there, but then uh, Taya is not there. So. But yeah. So anyways, where am I? I think keeps going down. But I appreciate all of you, taking the time. Some of you, it's been a while. Like, okay, Patrick from Insawam, Richmond Star says, "Hello, Shah. This is Richmond. Sorry, I think I lost reception. I've been trying to join, but I'm unable to. So, Richmond, right now it's 42 minutes. So, I'm not too sure, Sorry about that. Um, Olani says, well done, say I'm watching from Nigeria. Okay. Today I'm seeing a lot of Nigerians and Ghanaians, right? And Kenyans, I've seen a few Kenyans too. Okay, that's good. Emmanuel Emisa says, hello Shai. I will want to know how accommodation is secured in all of your videos. I've not really heard of it. I mean, do you have to book a place yourself? So there are certain things, if you check on the Shy Guys and it's not there, you have to check on the ShaiPod. I've interviewed a lot of people, and sometimes I ask them how they got accommodation, right? I remember when I interviewed Regina, she said after her visa was approved, her boyfriend went on LinkedIn. They didn't know anybody in the school. So the boyfriend went on LinkedIn and then he was looking for Ghanaians in the school. He just kind of searched it, and then LinkedIn showed some few, profiles or something. And so she got in touch with somebody. The person helped with accommodation. Right. I've interviewed a lot of people. Sometimes, yeah, LinkedIn is always a good place. Even before you get funding or you get admission to a school, you probably want to be on LinkedIn and try and connect with somebody. That's just how it is. But students, they will not do that. They will wait for last minute. People don't have time here. Somebody will reach out to me and be like, "Oh, can you connect me with somebody in the school?" I'm like, "No." The person will not even want me to connect you to him or her. And the people who will be who will make such request, when it's their turn for them to return the favor to people back home, they will not even do it. I have seen people, somebody whose service fee was paid for, the person got here and then the person was charging people so much money. So he is not even thinking about paying for free, but he was actually charging somebody a lot and other people a lot more, right? So yeah, human beings, when they want it and then you are not in a position to help, they want you to feel bad, right? They want to blackmail you and kind of like emotionally they make you feel bad. But then when it's their turn to do the right thing, they will not do it, right? So me, I don't connect people because I know how difficult it is, how stressful it is to be an international student in the US. But then if your visa is approved, that one I'll connect you. Yeah, if your visa is approved, I will always connect you. But until your visa is approved, every information you need is either on the school's website um or you can reach out to somebody on LinkedIn. You know that you can establish that rapport before you need help, right? and you want to be genuinely interested in people. I always tell people you want to be genuinely interested in people so that when you need their help, yes, they know that okay, this person is very familiar. People on TikTok, I I check when I get a lot of messages when I wake up. A lot of times I get a lot of messages, people liking videos and stuff like that. When somebody likes my video for a long time, for a while, the name will show up a lot in the notification. So now I'll check the person. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll check the person. There are people on TikTok that I follow who I follow them just because they were kind of liking a lot of my stuff. Like I'm not saying go and do it for me too, but I'm just saying I'm giving you're just liking a lot of my stuff, and I was like, oh, this person, yeah, you know, I know Isa is here. At the time I followed Isa, I just got to know him because he was joining live session. He was liking my stuff. So at the time I followed him, if I remember correctly, his followers were like on TikTok. I mean, it was maybe like 27 or 30 or something like that. At the time I followed him, and I'm still following him. That was the only thing because he was showing interest right in what I was doing. That's all. But then when there are people on TikTok with over 100,000 followers following me that I'm not following back because I am not chasing followers and stuff. I just want people who are genuine. So if somebody is not being genuine, I don't care who you are. Like I don't care what you have because at the end of the day, those things they don't impress me. I am impressed by people who are good, who are kind, who are genuine, who show interest in what I do. If you are not showing interest in what I do, I don't care whether you have a million followers or not. They don't move me at all, right? So yeah, that is just the thing. I know sometimes I um let me where am I? This thing I don't know. By the time I finish this, I don't know. The time would have. Okay. Yeah. So I was answering a question. I digress. So yeah, the when you go on the ShaiPod, there are a lot of videos there of people that I've interviewed, and the ShaiPod interviews, yes, even if I say, even if the person is an undergraduate student, you can still learn something from the story, from the interview. Some people they just watch it only if it's relates to something they are interested in, but sometimes you can learn from someone. So all these things are there. I haven't made a video on the Shy Guy specifically about accommodation, but then on the ShaiPod, I've interviewed people and I've asked them, right? So that is um that is how you can get accommodation before you come. Okay. In my case, I knew somebody in the school. My senior man was in the school before I came, so he helped me with all those things. Yeah. So yeah. Um. Okay. So promise says hopefully I'll be on live as I'm trying to secure scholarship. Okay, to study economics. Okay, I hope everything goes well. Richmond says um what? This thing is so hard. Richmond says, oh no, where am I? Richmond says, Shai, please, the question was, I was previously denied in August after AP for the fall semester. I'll be able to secure the same amounts in funding with the same program and research now in um, the thing with so the question is not complete. The thing is that if you've been denied before, I cannot just say this or say that because some of these things it takes a lot. You want to know what happened, right? You want to get the full story before you can give an opinion. So without full story, yeah, I cannot just say go and say this or go and say that, right? It's not it's not I wouldn't be helping you if I just tell you say this or because everybody's I've made videos where I talked about different people's stories and what they said, but everybody I can't everybody's story is different. You want to know what happened and try to understand why you were even denied in the first place. Because why will you be put on AP and then be denied? So it means that maybe something may have gone wrong. You want to find out what exactly happened, right? So Elvis Ifa says supporting from the USA. Okay, keep up the good work. Okay, nice. Daniel says, good evening, great to have you back. Okay, thanks. Brian says, my interview is this Wednesday. Please speak me. So if you were following me, you would have seen the announcement, right? On WhatsApp, on TikTok. If you were following me, you would have seen it. So mock interviews are on Sundays. So right now I can't do anything about it, right? You could have been picked. So I was actually thinking about picking 5 people, but then I think I don't know how many. I think I got just three. I got 3 people, right? So I guess it's been a while, so people are warming up, right, to the work interviews. um, where are we? So Richmond is saying you wanna uh answering the question what has changed. I wanted to find out is an answer like this, right? I can now clearly communicate my career, my academic and career plans. I don't know why you were denied. I don't know why you were put on AP and you were denied subsequently. I don't know why. So I cannot say yes or no, right? Some people they can go and say, oh, they couldn't explain themselves very well, or they were not confident on the day or something. They can, yeah, it can work for them, but in your case, I can't say yes or no, right? Because that's the thing. Akwesi Plus says, how can I join your group? I have admissions waiting for J. So the groups are the links. When you check the description, you are going to see one link. That one link will lead you to all the links to the Telegram, WhatsApp, all those things. The reason the links are not directly on YouTube, I've explained it many times, is that the groups they change, right? Right now I have 4 groups. So if group one is full and then that link is still there, somebody tries to join group one, the person cannot join because the group is already full, right? So then it's dynamic so that I only have to change it in one place, and then you only have to go to one place. If it has changed, then you get the current group, which has some empty space, right? So that's just the idea behind that, right? So people don't check description for information. They don't check anything. They watch it, they see a video, and then they want to ask questions even without watching the full video. Sometimes somebody is watching I make a video, the person hasn't even watched the full video, but then the person is asking a question which has been answered in the video. I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is going on? Like, watch the video before you ask questions. Right? We don't do that, you know. So it is what it is. Um, some of this sometimes I see, I'm like, what should I say to this person? How do I answer this person? Okay, says, hi Shai. Lately, I've been working on the Hungry Scholarship, still waiting for my application outcome from Alabama and Wayne State. Okay, that's good. I hope everything goes well. Once you are putting the work, it will work. That's just my belief, right, about life. It's hard, but once you put in the work, it tends to work. Irene says in Africa, it's Kenyans, Ghanaians, and Nigerians on the move. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I think in terms of international students, Nigeria is first, Ghana is second, Kenya is third. There was a time Kenya was number one, I think. So Kenya was number two. I think ahead of Ghana also. So Olani says, please, how can I join your TikTok account group? TikTok. So I don't know so with TikTok, they have this thing which is like WhatsApp channel, right? So when you check my TikTok profile, you're going to see that link there. I think you just click on it and then it's like a group which is similar to the WhatsApp one. So you can be on one of them. You don't have to be in both. You can be in one of them, right? Benjamin says, I'm watching from Ghana. I'm also in the process through your videos. Thank you very much for the guide you are giving us. Okay, that's good to know. Brian says, hello, Shai. My interview is on Wednesday, 17th December. I would like to take part in the mock interview session. 17th, yeah, Wednesday. I think you've been saying the same thing, Brian, for a while now. Yeah, I think I've already told you, right? That yeah. Right now, the best option is if you have the money, you book a private mock interview. Then I can do a private mock interview with you. That's the best option for you, because if your interview is next week, then like I mean, the coming week, the next week, then you can submit your details and you might be selected to do it on Sunday, right? So that depends. Emmanuel says, thanks for the information. Last minute there, it's killing us, pal. Keep it up, bro. Yeah, doing a great job. Okay. Kinsolo says, Shai, this Kinsolo, I try connecting you on LinkedIn, but you've not connected. I have PhD accounts at NIU admission with GA, but um I wasn't able to secure interview date for fall 2025, hoping to come 2026. So yeah, Kinsolo, I'm not too sure if I remember Kinsolo. I don't know. But yeah, that's good. It's good that you have, GA. So I hope everything goes well. Right. I hope everything goes well for you. John Yeltsin says you are joining Shy. Okay. Thanks. So I recently created a TikTok account, which I wasn't really thinking about it, but then, lately I've been thinking about why not tell my story, because, you know, people don't know my story. A lot of people see me, they think I've had an easy life. They see me and they are thinking, oh, yeah, he's talking plenty, he talks too much. He keeps saying work hard, but he doesn't know, we are different and stuff like that. But I created an account and I'm thinking about being vulnerable in a way and telling my story. There was a time I was like, if you people hear my story, you some of you will even cry for me and stuff. Like those things, I meant them literally. Like, if you don't know somebody's story, you on the outside you think, oh yeah, it's not that bad. No, my story is that bad, right? It's that bad. So when I keep telling you guys work hard, some of you don't understand. So yeah, I don't know how much I can share, and I don't know exactly what I'm but when I will be sharing, but we'll see how that goes. But I'm thinking of, I wanted to the Shy Guys is more like me creating study abroad content, study abroad visa interview content. And then there is a ShaiPod, which is interviewing people. But then this new one, I have a name in mind, but then TikTok, the way TikTok works. When I was creating an account, I created accounts 3 days ago, I think. When I was creating an account, I chose a name, but then people, those two names there, people used to call me, a lot of people used to call me, they call me Prof Shy, some people call me King Shy. So then I just use those, but then I think I have a better name that I want to use. So I'll change it when I think I have to wait. Is it one week or 1 month or something to be able to change those things? So I'll change them. I'm thinking of, so that will be more like a personal space, sharing personal stuff. But sometimes you, human beings, we are weird. You try to share certain things to make people kind of understand certain things. Some people will be like, oh, go away. I'm like, go away. And so what? Some people too, they the goal is to make people understand that, oh, you're not alone, right? People have gone through worse things. I've seen people's stories, a lot of stories, and I'm like, oh wow, this is bad, right? It's not good. But then I compare their stories to mine. I'm like, yeah, you don't know what to you don't know what to dealt with, right? So that kind of thing. So yeah, it is what it is. So we'll see how that goes, and hopefully everything goes well. John, you said you have admissions at Wayne State and waiting on funding. Okay, good. I hope everything goes well. Philip says, is it difficult to get into Florida State University master's program? that, that is a question from somebody who doesn't understand the state about process, because that's not a good question, right? Every school, it's about your application materials and stuff like that. So if you can submit something good, yeah, then I don't know what you mean by is it good, and that's not a good question, right? Promise Major says, Sha, I'm your top fan on TikTok. I mean, I cannot tell if you are my top fan or not. When it comes to live session, there were people you think, oh, these people are my top fans because they will always leave a comment. How do you know if the person is still there throughout the live session? You will not know, because somebody can just when they see the link, they will click on the link and just leave a comment and leave. You will never know. You will never know if they're actually top fans or not, whether they stay around for long. You just don't know, right? But then with the YouTube one, yes, you can clearly say these are my top fans, right? Yeah, those people, I created a private group for them, and I'm in touch with them, like trying to see how I can help and stuff like that. And all those people, visa interview coaching, free, right? It will be free for everybody. You know, visa interview coaching, which is like one or $120, and even at some point I might even increase it, because if I have less time and I have more people, then probably I have to increase it. It's just demand and supply, right? That's just how it works in the market. So yeah, all those people, it will be free, right? And yeah, and they are in touch with me, and I think I wanted to tell them something about Africa. So yeah, those people, they, by being top fans, they are showing me two things, right? And two things which are very important to me. One is the fact that they are serious about the process, right? Because to be a top fan means you have watched a lot of my videos, so that shows your seriousness. And then the other thing is, you kind of trust me, right? It's like loyalty, like you trust me, so it's like, okay, people like that, it's easy for me. You have to reward these people. But then if you say TikTok, TikTok people will reach out to me and they'll be like, oh, I've been following you and I've watched a lot of your videos. How do I know that? Because if you have, I will know, like, a lot of times. Because if you have, it means you've liked a lot of my videos, you've saved a lot of my videos. Like, so then, even if I don't see it all the time, one day I'll see it, and I'll know that, oh, this person's actually telling the truth, because your name would have been familiar, right? But if you don't do that, and then all of a sudden you reach out and you're like, oh, I don't like those messages. If I'll be honest with you, anytime somebody says, oh, Shai, I'm your top fan, what is the evidence? How do I know? I don't know. Your name is not familiar. I'm only seeing your name the first time you reached out. So I don't like those messages, because I am an honest person. I like honesty. I don't like people lying, right? So when you send me messages like that, I feel like you're lying. And I don't like people who lie, because once somebody is a liar, you can tell that, yeah, and I've helped a lot of people, and sometimes you can actually tell that, this was going this way, but you just overlook those things, and you're like, okay, yeah, give people the benefits of the doubt. But a lot of times people are just the way they are, right? So yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, it's been nice. PK says Papa Shaibu. PK, why are you calling me Papa Shaibu? So thanks to all of you. I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you next week. So next week, yeah, I'll interview some people, and then we'll see how that goes. Promise says, I need your story, especially knowing you did your master's in economics. That will go a long way for me. So my story is not really about school, right? I mean, there will be some elements of school, but it's mainly personal, challenges and stuff. So, but we'll see. I'm not saying I'll definitely tell them, right? But I'll try and see. So thanks all of you. I really appreciate your time, and